I love the power of what's next. Like, why should somebody keep watching your video?
If you find a videographer who's passionate and you are also passionate about the message, then you guys will move mountains together.
In most markets right now, properties are taking a little bit longer to sell. What's up, REVB fam? Katie Day here with Tim Macy. I am excited to bring you another REVB podcast.
Yay!
I am super excited to welcome this week's guest to the show. She has been absolutely crushing content in Southern California, Orange County. Please welcome Selene. What's going on, girl? How are you?
Hello. I'm so honored to be here with you both. Thank you for having me today.
Well, Selene, I remember I saw one of your first videos. Katie, well, she was talking about like mortgage payments or something boring. Like, I remember the topic was not great, but her ability to tell a story around it was amazing. And I've been watching your content now for a little while. And, you know, I think Matt Leonetti would be very upset if I said this, but like, you're the best storyteller in real estate that I think is out there right now. And so I want to know, like, where did that ability come from?
Wow, that's a huge honor because Matt Leonetti is extremely talented. So Matt, if you're listening to this, just know that you are high up there on my books. Storytelling is something that I think is extremely important in any career in business. And one way that I practice storytelling and would give any advice to anyone who wants to storytell is just start with a pen and paper and write a story on a pen and paper and then present it to the people that you know and love and ask for honest feedback. Keep it short and sweet. Pen and paper is your best friend.
So speaking of pen and paper, what are other things that you do that you write?
I love to journal. It's something that I've just been doing for years, so many years. I think over 10. I have like a library of journals. And that's what's helped me a lot just in business and in life is spitting out my thoughts and talking about business ideas and praying and writing it all down. So that's just something that Katie, I think when we first met, that was something that came up in conversation, and it's true. I will preach it probably till the day I die.
Well, I
have a lot of chaotic ideas in my head, and I know that there's a lot of power in actually writing things down. One, do you remember them more? Something happens in your brain that makes you remember those ideas, commit to them, all those things. But I think also it helps you organize ideas and put them in a coherent way. And so, yeah, I know so many times I just wing a video. I'm winging this podcast right now. But when I actually write something down, everything comes out a lot cleaner.
You can't plan everything.
You're about to cut. A lot of times I see Katie, she's about to ask a question, and then I cut her off. And so then I like to try to let her go, you know?
That's so kind, Tim. No, I wasn't going to ask a question. I was just going to kind of acknowledge what was said and then kind of add some stuff, but then you yapped. And so the moment is past and it's fine. I don't need to say my profound thoughts. I'll keep them inside my head. It's fine. Okay. So along the lines of storytelling, one of the things that I admire about what you do is you're taking things that are often pretty boring topics, right? And I think that you're making them a lot more interesting, right? So an example would be I've been seeing the conversation with yourself, but you're wearing two different outfits, or one your hair's down and one it's up, right? So you're like two different people, and you're kind of breaking down either payments on a property or things that are very boring. And so like some of that's like kind of TikTok trendy, but where do you come up with these ideas to make things a little bit more interesting?
Yeah, like you said, you take what do they say, like R&D, rip off and duplicate, but make it your own, So with the skits, there's something fun, and I think like if you have two different characters, maybe someone can relate to one and then another person would relate to the other. So you try to appeal to a wider audience that way. And skitting. I don't know if that's a word, but doing skits. Doing skits is something anyone can do. Like if you have a phone and a bit of creativity, like film yourself speaking on two ends of a couch, change up your look in, a slight way. And then one way for someone to think of skits is just think of your daily conversations, whether if like your family member who asks you about real estate and it's a question you get often, turn that conversation into a skit, add some character and share it with everyone that you know and see who gives you good feedback and who doesn't. The skits are getting really good feedback right now, so definitely try it out if you can.
So you did one listing video, and you're like, this is how much you need to make to afford this house. And what I love is, I love the power of what's next. Like, why should somebody keep watching your video? And when you tell a good story, people are constantly hanging around for what's next. And so you start with like, hey, this is how much you would need to make to buy this house, right? And then you go into the house, and the living room's cool. And then you're sitting at the table talking about how much your 20% down payment would be. And then you go into the next room. And I just like keep wanting to know what's next, in your pacing and the way you bring me through the story lands. And so again, like, where do you come up with these ideas? Like, how does that video come to fruition?
That's a great question. It's a team effort, I would say, because a lot of the aesthetic part of it, I can't do on my own. So like having a nice camera is very, like, at least in my experience. Now, this is not required for everybody who wants to make real estate content. You do not need a fancy camera. You can accomplish a lot with a good phone and a good editor. For me, I ended up hiring at the beginning of this year a professional videographer, and he's the one who makes it look beautiful and, you know, helps me with the transitions and puts it together really well. The scripting is what I really focus on. So it, you know, if you have a good team, or if you aren't, let's say, as strong with mortgages, partner up with someone who does know mortgages and who can help you with it. Katie, I know you put a lot of effort into Further Together, and I believe in what you're doing, because you are so right that we all go further together. Like, I would not be in this position today if it weren't for the team that I have that really helps me get here.
For sure, for sure. If you're looking for more REVB knowledge, then hop into our school community. It's where we plug show notes from these episodes, and where you can find a supportive community of real estate professionals that want to grow their personal brand and business with video. So whether you're just getting started or you're scaling your content machine, you're going to find the support and accountability you need. Head over to school.com/REVB, or if you're watching, scan the QR code to join our community. All right, let's get back to the show. What was some of the steps that you took when you went to hire a videographer? I think a lot of people want to hire one, and then they never can find someone that meshes with them. And so, you know, I'm not sure when I first saw your content, right? I think it was, I know what the property was. It was like a property that you were standing like off of the beach. And like, I know you've done a lot of videos of that property, like talking about the property, talking about the relationship that you had with the sellers and how long like you like got to know them and like tried to lead with value and like all of the things. So like I remember the one like you were holding a sign.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that video? That was like a while ago, yeah?
I think in August, and now we're in December. August or September, and now we're in December.
So it's been a few months, but like I feel like once like when I first saw your content, like you're putting out a little bit, but like now I feel like you're putting out a ton. And so that may also be the algorithm just feeding it to me more because I watch it like more frequently. And obviously like we met in person, so our phones like, you know, saw each other, and now I see it more. But like, what was the process that you went through to find your videographer? Is my long-winded question.
That's a great question. And before I answer that, I would love to say, Katie, that my first impression of you actually had no idea who I was. So like the fact that this is happening right now is just such a blessing. I saw you on stage at the Tom Ferry event. You spoke on stage at that event, and I didn't get a chance to find you because there were so many people. I think you spoke in front of like, how many people was that? Like over 3,000 people? Well,
in Dallas?
Yeah,
something like that.
It's like 5 at Summit. Katie loves to downplay how great Katie it is, you know?
You're so humble, Katie. Really, like you really are. But wow. So just I'm very grateful. That was just a wow moment. But what steps did I take? Honestly, you have to trial and error with your videographers. If you're gonna, you know, make the investment, and honestly, you're listening to this at the perfect time. I started in January, and now it's December. I'm 12 months of being consistent with high quality content, and it's, you know, proven fruitful. So if you're going to start, do it now, do it in January, make the effort, and you're going to trial and error, find a videographer, try it out with them for a year. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, move on to the next. For anyone listening who's like, I want to know exactly what type of camera to look for, My videographer has a Sony A7S III. I hope that that's correct. I don't know for certain, but that's the camera he uses, and he's really good at it. So like, find a videographer who knows their camera like the back of their hand, because if you find a videographer who's passionate and you are also passionate about the message, then you guys will move mountains together. Like, it will work.
So Selene, you're younger, and I don't want you to tell us how old you are because you're gonna make Katie and I feel old, and we don't like to do that. But from your perspective, like, what do you see agents missing? Like, what don't they get about how to make content that connects?
You know, I was an agent last year, 2024. If you were to go back to my 2024 content, what I was missing was consistency and value. Those are the things that I think people miss most on. If you put it in your goal tracking, if you put it in your planner right now that you are going to produce at least 10 high quality videos for every month in the year 2026, you'll do it and you'll find value in it, just like your viewers will.
How do you think about value when you're making these? Because I agree, the content you make has value to the audience. But I don't agree that most agents who think they're adding value actually are. Like, you see an agent, they're making a video, and maybe you don't watch a lot of agents' content like I do, but so many times they're missing what's actually valuable, where you find that little point where you know how to connect with an audience and give them stuff they actually care about.
Well, that's a great question, Tim. Because, like, what is valuable? Maybe someone who's watching my video doesn't consider it valuable. Maybe you ask your audience, what is valuable to you right now? So value just came from me within, because I am personally looking for a house and I want to know how much money do I need to make in order to afford that house. That's where the value comes in from within me. Or another tactic that you can use if you're an agent who wants to provide value but doesn't know where to find it, go to the US Census Bureau, find out what statistics they're posting and make a video about that statistic. So for example, this US Census Bureau just pushed out a study that shows that there's going to be more boomers than people under the age of 18. So now our real estate market needs to shift and gear for boomers. I mean, these people are going to need one-story homes. They're going to need main level, bedrooms and bathrooms. Make content about inheritance, people who are going to be inheriting property, what to look for. Post content about one-bedroom homes and why that's valuable for a lot of people right now. That's the type of value that I personally am looking for and trying to push out.
But you do it in a way that's high value and low sales. Like, you do it storytelling, you're doing it highly informational and very low sales, which I think you do really well.
Thank you, Tim. You guys are also phenomenal at what you do too. I mean,
which is not much.
Well, and I think what's interesting is, and why I find your content interesting, is that right now where we're seeing the people get the most reach is by niching down on one thing and doing that one thing, right? And so for people, that's home tours. For other people, that's the green screen style news content. For other people, that's, just doing this one thing. And what I would say your thing is education, but where you're keeping people's attention. So whether that's a skit or like the fast cuts of you having the same script, but it's like, you're walking and you're popping out from behind a tree and then you're doing this and then you're doing that. The quality of your content is very high. And so it's not necessarily that it's like, hey, here's the one thing. It's that you're changing up your style to keep attention. And so I don't know if that's intentional or not.
I struggle with that, Katie, because I don't know if I should pigeonhole myself into just skits or just home tours or, just educational content. I kind of just, whatever comes to mind and I think will be a good idea or a good video, I'll do it. So I think if you put yourself in a box, you're going to limit yourself to what people you can reach. So try what feels natural for you. This is my advice to any agent who's listening, who wants content ideas. try what feels natural for you. Try skits, try home tours, try educational videos, and find which one you like the most and stick with that. But then sprinkle in other ideas too. Show your personality. Like the way that I, create other content besides real estate is just by creating videos about what I'm grateful for, or how journaling has benefited me. Those are other things that you can talk about within your real estate content that'll help you connect to your audience as well.
Mark your calendar. Real Estate Video Blueprint Live is back. We're taking over Nashville, Tennessee on April 8th and 9th, 2026 for 2 full days of hands-on content creation, marketing strategy, and collaboration with the best agents in the business. If you're serious about using video to grow your personal brand and close more deals, this is the room that you want to be in. Grab your ticket now at realestatevideoblueprint.com, and we'll see you in Nashville. And some of your best performing content is stuff that's a little bit more personal. So the one I saw most recently was that you were so I just saw it with captions, right? And then like at another point in time I had my sound on and I was like, oh wait, she's not even speaking in English right now. It was like your
the one about learning Arabic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so that one, like, I think performed very well, right? And people are in the comments talking about like the languages they speak or the languages they're learning or their heritage or, and so I think that like that personal pillar is super important. And so, other than like the journaling and things, you said gratitude, what are other things that you have found to be fun to share about like your personal life and your journey?
Yeah, actually, thanks for bringing that video up because that's a great way to get people in your comments and to get more engagement is by asking them a question. So the video, for those who haven't seen it, is like me telling the audience like, hey, like I grew up speaking English, not Arabic, but my whole family's Egyptian. And I've spent the last 9 months trying to learn how to read and write. And, if you're listening to this and you can understand me, tell me in the comments, where are you from? And I say like part of that in English and part of that in Arabic. And so everyone started commenting and telling me, oh, I'm from Kazakhstan, I'm from Russia, I'm from, China, all over the world, which is so cool to see. Like, I don't have any intentions of getting business from that video, but now, over 100,000 people have saw it. And if they go to my account, then they know I'm in real estate and, hopefully a relationship fulfills from there, but, it doesn't need to. So one way to get good engagement, talking about real estate video blueprinting, this comment, this question at the end of your video is so important. Ask people to engage with you both in your video and in your caption. That's my advice. Sorry, Katie, what was the question?
No, that's perfect. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
I want to get a little tactical. So the property that the first video I think I ever saw of you was the house that's on the beach, 1924 West Oceanfront.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the one where you held up the sign?
Yes.
Like, please buy this house. Okay. Do you know how many pieces of content you shot for that house? Because I'm just scrolling on your thing now and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like of the same house. Right? Like, do you recall how many?
Oh my gosh. Well, 6 minimum, apparently.
Yeah.
And not only that, I was actually inside filming skits inside that house or educational content. So there's content that I filmed inside that house that actually had nothing to do with the house. I mean, if you have a vacant listing and it's staged and it looks good, like you should probably go film as many videos as you can inside that house. But I'm not sure. I think I counted one time and like, what's it called? Like the sum of all of the videos equaled over 500,000 views. So it was funny. My client came back to town and she was staying at the house and she goes, Selene, like, it was so weird. Like people were outside taking photos of my house and I don't know why. And I was like, I don't know either, but it could be that so many people saw it online. They might be sharing it with their friends or something. So if you have a listing and you have the opportunity to film content in that listing, do it. Share it as many times as you can. It's not annoying if you're trying to help your client sell their house. Just don't post just don't post the same script and the same thing.
For sure. And so like, looking at these, as you said, like 500,000 views, some of them, it's 184,000, 60,000. So like, talking about how, you met the sellers, talking about the unobstructed views, talking about all of these different things. Did you shoot this all at one time, or did you go back as you had the property on the market? Like, what was kind of your process for getting content at the house?
Yeah, it was probably like 3 or 4 different filming sessions. And anytime I film, I try to plan at least 5 videos for that day. So like Chiron is the videographer. We meet like twice or 3 times a month, and we try to get 5 videos at a time, like 3 to 5. Mostly we aim for 5 every time. Yesterday was only 3 because it was just a long day. So I post about 10 videos a month, 10 reels a month. And whenever I get an opportunity to film at a listing, I'll just try to do 3 or 4 about that listing, especially if it's like I try not to do this, but like if it's a big property with a lot of selling points, I'll make several videos on that property.
I think too few agents do that, right? They do the one property tour, maybe they do a YouTube tour, they do an Instagram tour, and that's it. And I think that we're missing the boat on shooting more content. And so I know another, Southern California agent, Chris Benjamin, they shoot like 10 pieces of content at minimum for every listing, right? And so they're doing some skits, like the funny viral type skits. They're doing some where they're copying like, comedic skits. They're doing just normal property tours. They're doing fun stuff. And then using it as a backdrop for other content as well. And so, Trey Serrano is another one that's doing a ton of content for each listing, because in most markets right now, properties are taking a little bit longer to sell. And so rather than going back out to the property 2 or 3 or 4 times, Selene saying, hey, we want to get at least 5 pieces of content every single time, we go out to shoot. I love that.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Tim. You've been trying
I was going to say, I hear what you're saying, and I'm just trying to go to like, what is the thought that agents have that doesn't serve them? And it's this idea. It's like, oh, I made a video at that house. I have to find another house, right? I made a video there. I can't make like 5 videos at the same house. And I think great creators like you and like, the other ones that we interview, they're just thinking about their audience. They're only thinking about, will my audience connect with this? Does my audience want to hear this? Will this educate and add value to my audience? And some of our agents are just like, oh, I already did a video in that house. And somebody's going to notice that I did a video in the house. Somebody is going to care and say, oh, Katie already did a video in that house. Nobody on planet Earth really cares that much about your content, unless Katie is interviewing on a podcast and actually goes back and sees how many videos you made at the same house. But
I'm here for it, though. I'm here for that, though. I'm a fan.
Yeah, but we do. We're like, oh, my video flopped and it only got 20 views. Like, I should take it off my profile because somebody's going to go look and see I made a video that had 20 views and they're going to judge me. Like, nobody cares. Only you do. And so I love that you have that mindset of making 5 pieces of content at a house. If it's an awesome house, like, take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you don't have to force yourself to make 5. Like, it doesn't need to be that way. That house was, an oceanfront beach house. So there was a lot of selling points. And like the sign one where I'm like, someone please buy this house, and there's Run Club passing by. You probably can't do that at another listing. I don't know if you get that much people running right past the house unless you hire them. But try your best to make valuable content for each listing. And if you can't, try skits. And if you can't, try just straight up educational talk. Find out what works really well for you. And I mean, this podcast, REVB, is gold for it, because there's so many different ideas within this podcast that you can easily find ideas that do work for you. I struggle personally. I don't post on YouTube, LinkedIn at all. TikTok, I'm really bad at. So like, I definitely have my pinholes, I definitely have my flaws that I need to work on. So I'm going to be like, just dialed into this podcast so that I can keep learning from you guys.
We love it. We love it. All right. What are you working on next? You're doing a bunch of stuff on Instagram. Like, what's next?
Yeah. Okay. Well, still talking about social media. Katie, right before we started, you asked me about the carousels. I'm really enjoying the carousel life right now. It's actually so fun. And I also hired, just full transparency, I have a team that's helping me create them, because it's a lot of work for me just to sit there and design carousels. So yeah, I recommend if you don't want to be on video, try carousels and, give 5 pieces of advice for a first time home buyer, or like, what to look for the holiday season when you're buying a house.
Yeah. Carousel posts right now are performing very well. So whether you're repurposing something that you have already posted, or you're posting, something educational, lists do really well, or things that, it's a story that you're telling. They are performing well, and I find myself more and more swiping on them. So I understand why they are performing well. Selene, if someone doesn't already follow you on social, where is the best place for them to connect with you?
Yes, it's Selene, SELENE _ Hanna, HANNA. And how about you, Katie?
Perfect.
Where can people find you, Katie?
You can find me and Tim at Real Estate Video Blueprint on Instagram.
And at realestatevideoblueprint.com, where you need to buy your REVB tickets for Nashville in April. Let's go.
Wait, in April 20, when in April is it?
April 8th and 9th.
In Tennessee?
Nashville,
Nashville.
Tennessee.
I've never been.
It's a good time.
Oh,
let's go.
it's a good time.
It's a good
Do the
time.
honky tonk. It's great.
Yeah, we're gonna have Tim leading a line dance on stage. So
That's not gonna happen.
Don't miss it.
You did not hear it here first.
You heard it here first. If the first person to DM me to say he needs to do it, we'll make him do it. So
you were gonna give something away when you couldn't think of anything.
You like that?
Oh, that was too funny.
I was gonna say,
last thing, Selene, before you go. You talked about carousel posts. I thought your a lock and change and 365-day carousel post was awesome, and you really just like held on to the power of what's next and just kept me scrolling and everybody else scrolling right through it as you gave me a little bit of the story and enough where I wanted the next piece of the story and wanted the next piece of the story. And so if you're listening to this podcast, check out her carousel post that she did, lock and change in 365 days. It was brilliant, and I really enjoyed having you on here. And I'm just excited to watch what you do next.
Oh, thank you, Tim. That's so full circle, because we started off this podcast by saying like a pen and paper is your best friend. And, that post that you're talking about is just all about journaling. Like your pen and your paper by yourself for 30 minutes, I think can move a lot within you in this next year. So my advice, if you took anything away from this podcast from me today, please just write down what's in your mind and manifest or affirm those things that you believe about yourself on pen and paper. Katie and Tim, thank you so much for having me today. You guys are the best. Thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.